is definitely made for crashing a party. While that Donny ship runs back to its mama, it's time for us to introduce ourselves planet-side, face-to-face like. It'll be my turn next, once these suits and weapons are ready. I'll squeeze my 4 squads into one of those giant metal coffins, and hopefully the pilots will be kind enough to put us down in one piece. It's no joyride, though, that's for sure. Been a while since I've done this. Oh, it'll all come back quickly. Always does. After I talk with VP Hayes, we'll get right to claiming ground for Craven and company, and taking it away from that crazed order. They have too many troops down there, though. It's not going to be easy. They'll fight us every step of the way. And not everyone will be coming back.
Hello, Major. I'm glad you could finally make it in this morning. Briefing was scheduled for 8 standard minutes ago.
Sorry, ma'am. I've been checking the suits and ordnance before the mission. No one in maintenance shook them down.
Very well, then. My expert systems agree with you. The enemy buildup in the Oracle Dunes must be halted. Take a squad in and destroy the Order's central communication relay for the region.
A single squad? But I recommended at least 3 to deal with the reinforcements that the Dawnies are bound to call in.
Equipping 3 squads for such a simple mission is not financially viable. Since you're concerned with the Order's reinforcements, I suggest you accomplish your objective before they arrive.
But...
Sorry, Major, I have a staff meeting to attend. You have your orders. Enrica out.
Okay, so there's some things to unpack here before we get into the mission itself. First of all, the planet of Krieg. Krieg is a Swedish word for war. Massive Entertainment is a Swedish-based company, so that's the source of that. And you'll find in this game a lot of the naming of things it's not particularly subtle, which isn't a bad thing. It's definitely a theme. So our protagonist, Major Sarah Parker, is voiced by the excellent Jennifer Hale. And this was before she played Femshep in the Mass Effect series. It was even before Basta Lashan role in Knights of the Old Republic. But still, in the year 2000, she'd been in TV movies for over a decade. First film credit was Love Potion number 9 in 92, and then started getting into video game voice acting with Quest for Glory 4 in 94. And that's still 6 years earlier. So she was pretty accomplished by then, but obviously is much more well-known now. You can tell in the cinematic to start the campaign, and in the briefing here, that she doesn't get along that well with Vice President Hayes, who I'll get to in a bit. But in actuality, if you look at the backstory, there's more going on here. Parker has issues with Craven as a whole, not just Hayes. At the time of these events, she is 35 years old, which means she's been serving in the Craven military for over 2 decades. The age of consent is 14. Virtually perfect record in training, except for a couple issues of excessive force. Described abilities as superlative by her superiors. Joined the infantry, multiple citations for her heroism and bravery bonuses, and was offered the opportunity to join the commando branch of the services at the age of 20, which she did. Again, appears to be a rising star, and by the age of 28, or 7 years ago in 2412, has reached the rank of major, and that's when things go south. On the planet of Sigma Draconis, where the Order of the New Dawn had declared the planet to be holy ground and a jihad against any corporations who did not withdraw. Craven did not withdraw, and Major Parker was at one of the fire bases there, and they came under heavy attack. This is known as the Battle of Hansen's Rift. And when relief finally came to the firebase, Major Parker was the only survivor. Badly wounded, her bunkers surrounded by more than 800 bodies of dead Crusader infantry from the Order. Undergoes extensive psychiatric treatment and, of course, physical healing as well. But she's not quite the same dutiful lapdog after that. There are 5 separate instances in her file since then of, as the company would put it, refusing special commands relating to efficient termination of enemy assets. One of those was refusing to void the atmosphere on an enemy dropship. So she's no longer considered a rising star. The general approach of Craven is to only give her fairly low priority combat assignments because she can't be relied upon to carry out her orders. Which does lead us to the question of why she's assigned here. We're essentially evading a planet that's already under Order control. So the logical assumption at this point is that Krieg 7b is sort of a sideshow in the grand scheme of things for Craven. They don't consider it to be super important. It's still a place where somebody like Parker can be of service. Then there's Tasia Valenza, the voice behind Enrica Hayes. She began in TV in the mid-1980s, including a Daytime Emmy nomination in 1985 for All My Children. Then had a couple of video game roles along with other TV series, with the Metal Gear Solid games around the time of Ground Control, and later on would lend her vocal talents to Poison Ivy in Arkham Asylum. So between the two of them, we've got some significant talent for our first couple of Craven characters, to be sure. And we don't have the extended backstory of any kind on Hayes, but you can see here she's taking a direct, authoritative approach with Major Parker, and also there's definitely some animosity there. And clearly, as you'd expect someone in that position, has the corporation's financial bottom line in mind. So we're starting off with essentially a hit-and-run mission. Get in, get out on what clearly is going to be a lightly defended target if we're only taking one infantry squad. And then back on the briefing front, we have the Oracle Dunes, the name for this region of the planet. Might it be possible that before we're done in this part of Krieg 7b, we obtain some sort of hidden knowledge that we don't know at the moment? Anyway, here on the map schematic, this will not always be complete or entirely accurate. It's based on the intel you get at the beginning of the mission. But these different objectives, that's where the comm relay is. Red is usually enemy, yellow is usually friendly. So we're going to drop here in the middle, and we're going to be heading off this way. And you can see we've got a lot of low-lying terrain, but there are some obstacles here. We're probably not going to have direct line of sight on it when we set down. So there's your overview. We've got description here, must destroy the comm relay. We've got to pull back to the pickup zone or to be retrieved. And then we've got difficulty. Now if we look here, all of these screens have a question mark. And there are sometimes, go up and down here as well. So, and there's a whole bunch of stuff here, most of which you've already covered, not that important, but towards the bottom, if we can get down to it, I'm going to look at the combat stuff. So, easy is lower difficulty, and they don't describe it exactly here, but it's your basic thing in an RTS. The enemy units are just, in general, not as dangerous, they'll take more damage and not inflict as much on you, that kind of thing. So light is the normal settings for that, but no friendly fire. Normal does have friendly fire. That's the only difference between light and normal. And then hard does have friendly fire as well, but then it also increases the lethality of the enemy units. So we're playing on hard as much as I can, but that's going to be secondary. If I have to move it down, I will, to the idea of doing this in a narrative style, which is why I'm going through some of this backstory and the talent and all that. And also that's going to impact on the way I do gameplay. I'm going to play it as you would, in this case, as Major Sarah Parker might in the situation she's in. I'm not going to use a lot of metagaming knowledge of, well, when you do this, she'll trigger that in the mission. Those kinds of things. I'm going to play as if I don't have that knowledge, emphasizing the immersive experience of the story. Okay, so the next step after you hear the briefing is you go to configure dropships. You can have up to 3. We only have 1, and you've got a squad list here. We're leaving auto load on. I can always adjust it. So again, we've got the 1 squad of Marines. We obviously wouldn't have any need of more dropships with that. You'll eventually get to a point where you have choices between which units you're going to bring with you, which squads, but we're not there yet. On to configuring squads, where you've got some choices. Notice the special weapons and special equipment are all empty. Again, this is very basic. It's the first mission. Now, if you look at our 4 stats here, firepower, armor, speed, and range, you can see we can defeat light pterodynes with them effectively. Any heavier type of pterodynes would be a problem for Marine assault rifles, and again, no special weapons. So if you look at these, if you switch to the offensive, a little more firepower, a little less speed. If you switch defensive, a little less speed again, but more armor instead of firepower. And then if you go to recon, quite a bit lower firepower, but then also you increase the speed. And also, I think this increases sight range, which is not on here. But these little tweaks don't do a huge amount, but they do a little. Now, if you're interested in putting in names for the squads and whatnot, volunteering that, I will have in the description below linked to the Something Awful thread for this. And the main reason I'm doing this game, of all the different things I could do, is it was chosen by the community there. I mean, I really enjoy it, but that was a big part of it. There was a vote on what retro title people wanted me to do next, and Ground Control was the winner. So I'm going to be taking suggestions on naming the squads from them. As you can see, you just click Rename Squad, and you've got this box where you can make all of that work. So I am going to do one additional change. I'm going to switch to offensive. We want to hit them as hard as we can, as quick as we can, and get out. That's the mission profile. And we can move them in the APC, so speed is handled. Firepower of our only offensive fighting force, really, is what we're going to want the most.
New drop zone.
And the clock on missions does not start in terms of how long we have to do it and everything until we drop down.
Dropship entering atmosphere. Mission update. The Order's communication relay is here. Analysis of enemy communication traffic indicates that reinforcements will arrive in approximately 10 minutes. Recommendation: load troops in your APC to move them faster.
Already done, anyone. We're going to follow along, and I have the APC in defensive position, defensive movement, so that we can stop it whenever we see enemies.
Enemy attacking Command APC.
Like now. Let's get out.
Understood. I'm on my way.
Command APC taking friendly fire.
I want these in line formation, moving towards the enemy.
Squad 1 recharging.
Engaging. Move order received.
Enemy hover
So
down
attack
destroyed.
and then move
Enemy
forward. Let's
attacking
get rid of that
Squad
one. Okay. Oh, we got more this way. All right, keep going, boys.
Position acknowledged.
And I'm just sort of focusing fire as much as is possible.
Enemy hover down destroyed.
Attacking.
Okay, and now our APC is going to try to run
Right away, Major.
because
Squad
we'd
one
given it a
recharging.
previous move order.
Understood.
So let's
We will
get
enter the
all our
APC.
troops in first. There we go. Then we're going to move
Move
back.
order received.
So those were 4 scout hover bikes, which are easily dealt with. They're the lightest of the enemy pterodynes, that is, vehicles, land vehicles. And again, you know, the pathfinding around obstacles like this, not good. This game was, I would say, even a little behind the curve for 2000 when it comes to that aspect. Alright. And here we go. Let's get out
Enemy
of
attacking
this
Command
again.
APC. Squad 1 recharging.
I'm going to use the same basic technique.
Move order received.
Press the attack and then move forward. And the scout hover bikes like to run around, so typically I'll wait for them
Enemy
to
attacking Squad
sort of
1.
sit
Enemy
somewhere and then,
structure
okay,
destroyed.
Affirmative.
keep moving. Now these are Arena 4 pulse turrets. They're weak defensive emplacements. They're all they're ever really going to do is slow you down,
Move order received.
even on
Enemy
the
structure
harder difficulty.
destroyed.
Let's keep up with our infantry,
Enemy
shall we?
attacking Squad 1.
Alright,
Enemy
there's a hover.
hover
Okay,
down
that's
destroyed.
gone. Now,
Affirmative.
let's get this infantry guy over here. Going up there right against the mountain.
Enemy attacking Squad 1. Squad 1 recharging. Enemy infantry destroyed.
There we are. Now let's move into the base and see the repairing happening here.
Affirmative. Position acknowledged.
Enemy structures destroyed.
I'm on my way.
Squad 1 recharging.
We
Enemy
act-
attacking Squad 1.
Accidentally blew up a container back there. Okay, now, coming in here, I'm going to make a rookie mistake on purpose.
Engaging.
Because it says to destroy the comm relay. It's not actually the comm relay, it's the communication station. But you might, like, that might not be obvious.
Moving at once, Major.
Squad 1 recharging.
Attacking target, Major.
Got outposts, we got just containers to store stuff. We got barracks, outposts, barracks, a couple processing plants. And this is the only thing you have to destroy, the communication relay. But I don't like the way that it's labeled this way in this particular mission because it would be easy to confuse these, especially for a tutorial mission. I don't like the fact that there's a communication anything anywhere else. And if you look at this map, I mean, it's not big enough to tell you for sure which one. There's no indicator on it, you know, so this is the kind of thing that you might do. But fortunately, like, we're doing this mission efficiently enough that we probably have time to get away with it.
Enemy structure destroyed.
And of course, the accuracy thing, not as much of an issue if you're reasonably close to a building. Because, I mean, we're hitting these because the target's so big.
Target confirmed, Major.
You'd have to be a pretty terrible shot to not actually hit the building. Nonetheless, we will move in. And now we're working on taking out this relay.
Enemy structure destroyed. Mission update. Communication relay destroyed. Objective achieved. Recommendation: immediately withdraw your forces to the marked pickup point. Use your APC to move your troops quickly.
Okay, and now we're just getting out. Now, we could actually handle the reinforcements that they get on this mission. That'd be a little gamey. Your squads do improve faster by getting additional kills. And, you know, we're just following the narrative.
Order transports now on radar. ETA, 5 minutes.
Okay. So if you dawdle too much, you can get the reinforcements to come in, but you really kind of have to be done with it in order for that to happen.
This is Dropship Chicago, initiating landing routines. Get ready to fast load, Major. This zone is going to be hot soon. We'll be dropping the ramps as soon as we touch down.
Mission accomplished.
On this tour, we don't have the units for the typical assault plan. The best we can do is more operations like today's. Get in fast, take out something valuable to the Order, and get out before they can drop in reinforcements. With our cruiser busy jockeying for position with the Donnie's war wagon, we can't even get decent telemetry on the surface. The downside is, unless we attack in strength, it's going to take months to track down every stronghold. In the meantime, they'll be jumping all over our positions. Still, I'm surprised we got away with hitting that comm relay so easily today. I guess the Donnies must be spread out pretty thin themselves. But the question is why? What the hell are their troops guarding that's more important than their own installations?
Okay, so we've got the couple things to notice here. One is the map. Again, the entire planet controlled by the Order except for us. And you can see a lot of the landmass is frozen at the poles. But we're concerned with this part in the middle, and this is the Oracle Dunes, obviously. Major Parker giving us some more not-so-subtle hints here at the end of this. That, you know, the Order's strategy, why isn't things better guarded? Something is going on here, you know, more than meets the eye. So we obviously don't know what it is, but there's something that's just not right. In any case, we've had a successful first mission, so let's take a look at how we're doing on the stats front. Okay, and there are 5 ranks. Every rank, as you rank up, improves things like your accuracy and how much damage you take, how much damage you give the enemy. So we've been on one mission and destroyed 3 buildings, is what she gets credit for. Vanguards get a Field Excellence Award. Now, these are purely, like, fluff, and you get them for having a certain number of kills on a mission. The Aggressive and Field Excellence, I forget what the difference is in exactly what you get, but they'll be awarded automatically, and they don't really do anything. The only thing that matters in terms of your squad's performance is the rank. Now, if they do increase in rank and then you get a squad completely destroyed on a mission, then what will happen there is they simply get replaced by an inexperienced one. So you don't want to let your squads get destroyed. And the experience ranking up also depends on all the stats you see here. The missions, how many kills they get, and how much they lose. If you lose a bunch of a unit, much less likely to rank up in an efficient manner. And that is it for Comm Relay. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll be back and see what more misadventures Sarah Parker gets into in the next mission. Coming up soon.